Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about Space Marines as we get into the Dark Suns chapter. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. If you have any suggestions for topics or questions, let me know what they are in the comment section below, and I will try to create a video for you. And of course, if you guys enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon and thank those that purchase objective markers from us. Link in the description for both those. But with that said, sit back, get your paintbrush ready, and enjoy the lore of 40 Facts on the Dark Suns. Although most Space Marine chapters work independently of not only the Imperium of Man, but also other Adeptus Astartes chapters, there are some successors that follow in the footsteps of their more venerable chapters, like those that come from the early foundings. This tutelage is most often seen with battle brothers that share a lineage or possess the same gene seed. Such is the case for one of the Imperium's most vaunted Ultramarine successor chapter, the Dark Suns. Imperial records show that the Dark Suns adapted their combat doctrines and beliefs not just from their progenitor, the Ultramarines, but instead the Nova Marines chapter. It is rumored that upon the chapter's founding, the Dark Suns' ranks were filled with veteran Nova Marine battle brothers. Together, the two chapters trained alongside each other and became almost identical in battle and ideology. To learn more about the Nova Marines chapter, check out our 40 Facts on the Nova Marines, link above or below. Nevertheless, the Dark Suns have attempted to distinguish themselves from their teacher, and have taken the mantle of protecting the Segmentum Obscurus. Similar to the heraldry of the Nova Marines, the Dark Suns don a quarter pattern color scheme on their armor, but chose dark green and white, as opposed to the blue and white of the Nova Marines. They have a purple right knee plate. Their chapter badge is very similar in appearance as well, a stylized green 12-pointed star, with a green circle at the center, unlike the skull of the Nova Marines. When not dealing with other Space Marines, the Battle Brothers of the Dark Suns are viewed as having an arrogant pride in themselves. This egotism has soured many dealings with other Imperial military forces, and has led to some friction between the chapter and the Astra Militarum. On top of their lack of humility, the Dark Suns are not opposed to drastic military actions in order to enforce their will on a planet or a battlefield. Reportedly, the Dark Suns are notorious for resorting to the use of exterminatus in their quest to secure victory over an enemy. Although a terrible outcome for the Imperial citizenry, this disregard for human life gains the chapter many victories, even when facing remarkable odds. What would be perceived as carelessness by most logical military forces is actually disregarded by the Dark Suns due to their monodominant ideology, which means that the chapter has a strong belief that the only way the Imperium of Man can survive is if all other factions in the galaxy, the Xeno, Chaos, and the Heretic, is utterly destroyed, which means that there is 0 degree of tolerance for any form of heresy, and the only possible punishment for heresy is death. As such, the Dark Suns are known as ruthless, narrow-minded Space Marines who leave untold devastation and slaughter in their wake, frequently doing more harm than good, but always eradicating the enemy. Even amongst their fellow Space Marines, the Dark Suns proved to be difficult to work with. Such was the case during the Aculus Crusade, when the chapter contributed a contingent of battle brothers to retake the Jericho Reach. This force was under the command of Captain Tarnius Demos of the 2nd Company. A decorated and experienced battle brother, he had achieved victories in countless battles against the Xeno that threatened mankind. Demos had been considered more than once for promotion to chapter master of the Dark Suns. However, his towering hubris and recklessness had held him back, for Demos was a supremely prideful man. During the outset of the Aculus Crusade, a great council of senior Space Marine commanders of several dozen chapters came to contribute forces to the crusade. The only matter of business that remained was the election of an overall commander. Lorgoth Mac Lear of the Storm Wardens chapter was voted in nearly unanimously to lead the Council of War in their decision regarding the crusade. Demos was gravely insulted by this decision, believing that only he was truly capable of success in such a grand undertaking in the name of the Emperor. To prove himself to be a better commander, he challenged McLear to an honor duel. Several of the gathered observers noted afterwards that the duel of such martial finesse and power was rare outside of the Feast of Blades. McLear irrefutably had the upper hand for solar hours. His meticulous study of combat shield techniques gave Demos no opportunity for a decisive blow. Yet Demos relentlessly assailed the chapter master with powerful hits, hammering McLear with such force that the stone floor began to crack beneath the Storm Warden. In the end, it was McLear who finally made a crucial error, and Demos landed the final blow. Defeated, McClear knelt before Demos and officially declared him commander of the Adeptus Astartes Council in the Aculus Crusade. Demos bowed his head and reflected upon the matter for many tense heartbeats. Finally, he beckoned McClear to stand. Demos had never fought such a worthy opponent, and even through his own pride, he realized that the Stormwarden Chapter Master understood the burden of command. Thus, Demos declared Lorgoth McClear should lead the Space Marines into the Jericho Reach. Demos returned to his strike cruiser, content in knowing that the Space Marines of the Aculus Crusade possess an exemplary commander. The rest of the Space Marines were like, bitch, we already knew this. The Dark Hunter's arrogance doesn't always get in the way of providing aid for other military forces. The chapter participated in the First Punisher War, when the infamous Chaos Space Marine warband known as the Punishers led a massive Chaos invasion of the Kargad system. The Dark Hunters chapter led the defense of its homeworld, but was woefully outnumbered by the forces of Chaos. The Punishers landed 250,000 Chaos cultists in the first wave upon the planet, with a mighty Emperor-class battleship to back them up. It took the help of 6 other chapters, including the Dark Suns, to finally exterminate the Punishers from their system. Without their help, the Dark Hunters would have faced certain annihilation. Many years later, in the Second Punisher War, the Dark Suns would aid the Dark Hunters again against the forces of Chaos. However, they would inform the Inquisition of the Dark Hunters' alliance with the Xeno scum known as the Eldari, an action that would see Captain Jonah Kern of the Dark Hunters punished for this crime, although the Alliance saved the planet from complete annihilation. It would mark the Dark Suns as punk-ass snitches. And those were 40 facts on the Dark Suns. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This lore is interesting because it's very flavorful, but it's flavorful in a negative way. Like, I don't see anybody reading the Dark Suns lore and thinking, oh, I want to be this Space Marine chapter. I want to be the arrogant asshole that gets into fights with other Space Marines and shits on Imperial citizens just for fun. Like, they remind me of that annoying kid that you grew up with who had an older brother and would sometimes hang out with his older brother and his friends, so then he would go back to the regular group and be like, yeah, I'm better than you guys because I hang out with older guys. Like, it just didn't make any sense, and he would always just be really annoying to be around. So if you play this chapter, that says a lot about you, man. Think about that. Just think about it. But thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys have suggestions for other chapters or other parts of the 40K lore that you guys would like us to cover, please comment down below. And thank our patrons on Patreon. It is because of them that we can do these types of videos. Thank everybody that purchases objective markers. The link is down in the description below for that as well. And yeah, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and just telling YouTube that you like our content. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.